Well, the 850 is done enough for now anyway. On to the fajita. Previously, I had this thing down here and I did the left front CV half shaft. That bad boy. Today, I'm gonna be doing this one as well, because it's bad. And then if I have time, I'll be replacing the very oily, original looking front shocks and struts. The now completely failed exhaust system. What else? What else do I have? I do have rear shocks. Those actually look kind of okay, but since they're pretty easy to do, I may as well do them, I suppose. I'm also going to be servicing the rear differential, topping up the front diff again, even though I just serviced it. I'll also be changing out the transfer case fluid, and I'll look up the spec for the manual transmission. I don't remember what that requires, but I'm probably going to put Redline MTL in it. I do not have that with me. And then also I'm going to be doing front brake rotors and pads, because I'm just trying to get rid of this front end shimmy between 65 and 75. And although the brake rotor kind of looks okay on this side, it is real bad on this side, as is the dust shield. But anyway, first things first, I guess, is going to be ripping off these two front wheels. Yeah, that should be it. Get going. Well, I've got the first hang up, which is that piston is completely seized. These two are working fine. That one's working fine. That one's forked. So FJ needs at very least a caliper now, which thank God these things are cheap. I was just about to order one preventatively anyway, but of course I didn't. So I guess I'll work on other stuff, but I'll have to get a caliper now. Silly fajita. I have to give mad props to Toyota engineers. They bolt the knuckle onto the ball joint carrier. Super easy. Same half shaft left and right. Super easy, other than just tons of mess all over the place from really nasty old runny water soaked axle grease. This really isn't too bad. Time to ramrod the new one in there and move on to other parts of the project. Gross. Well, I've got the new exhaust sort of on. It came with clamps, but I decided to weld it because welding is better, even though this is mild wire. Whatever, I've got some spray paint I'll go over those with while they're still hot, because that's how spray paint cures the best. And now this thing's actually a side exit instead of a rear exit, which is kind of interesting. More like a late model already. The thing is solid, I gotta say. Pending how this thing sounds, and that muffler just looks like a glass pack inside, this was a really solid deal at like $210 shipped or something. Less than $200 if you opt without a tip. Back at her, new caliper. Everything looks pretty shiny and fancy, so I'm glad that's finally done. I do have another car coming to do some fanciness tonight, so I don't know, exactly how far I'll get, but I might rip out the front shock and do that. Or strut, sorry. Rears potentially, fluids maybe, spark plugs maybe. We'll kind of see how much time I have left at the end of the night, but I also have to wire wheel and kind of treat some of this stuff just so it doesn't get much worse. The rust is pretty typical for anything around this part of the country, so really no worries there. I did put those fancy new shift knobs in, and the old caliper, that piston, just seized solid, so that thing is junk garbage. Ugh, what a pain. Well, I just finished changing out the transfer case and rear diff. I did the front diff when I did the CV shafts. Holy cow, this thing's fluid thirsty compared to an E30. The rear diff alone took 3 quarts. Next up is going to be dropping out the suspension upright, which I think is just a 19 mil bolt in the bottom. Going right through. And then looks like 3 13s maybe on the top. Guess I'll zip those out and see what we got going on. Well, the key was a MAP gas torch. I finally got it out, and awesome. Jeez, it's been a week and a half at least. It's done. The side is actually done. And that's all she wrote for right now. I still have to do the front right, but not urgent at all. That thing's just a winter beater, so it'll be interesting to actually take it for a spin with all that stuff replaced. The new exhaust sounds pretty good, so I guess that's good. Cheers.